everybody, welcome to another video. My name is Infiniti and today I'm going to be showing you how to crochet the chevron stitch. I did this tutorial some time ago, and by some time ago I mean like way back when my camera was not as good. So I wanted to revisit this one and hopefully make that process a little bit better for you guys. So for today's tutorial I do have the sample swatch. I will be starting over. It's not as hard as one might think. It's a pattern that is comprised up mostly of single crochets. You can change it up and work it with double crochets, half double crochets, etc. But for today's tutorial we will be working in single crochet. So without further ado, I am going to jump right into this tutorial. Okay, to begin we are going to create a slip knot, and you're going to want to chain in multiples of 25. For my swatch that I just showed you, I had 50 chains, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. If you have to use stitch markers, I would recommend doing so. I know it helps me keep track of my stitches when I'm doing larger projects. So, alright, 4, 5, 6. Alright, I have my 50 chains, and now that I have that, I'm going to chain an additional 5. This is going to help with turning and the natural push and pull of this pattern, because you're going to have stitches on the edges that you're going to have to kind of keep inward so that your pattern doesn't V out. I know when I first started doing the chevron stitch, I would always have a problem with my stitches V'ing out, and that's because I didn't chain properly. So, alright. And 5. Alright, now that we have all our chains, what we're going to do is we're going to yarn over and we're going to single crochet into the second chain from our hook. So not this one, but the very next one over. Just going to make a little single crochet there. And then we're going to single crochet into the next stitch. We're going to skip the next stitch and single crochet into that fourth one. Alright, so now what we're going to do is start working up our little mountain here. So we just created our first stitch in doing that. So now we are going to single crochet 1 in each of the next 11 stitches. I'm sorry, the next 10 stitches for a total of 11. So we already made our 1. Here's our second one. Six. And 11. Alright, what we're going to do in the next chain is we are going to single crochet 3 into that one chain. So 1, 2, and 3. And don't worry if this curls up on you. Anytime you have a pattern where you're using only single crochet, it's going to do that, but as you create more vertical rows, it will go ahead and flatten out for you. Alright, now we're going to work back down our little mountain here. So we are going to work 11 stitches, so 1 stitch in the next 11 chains to go down. Now what you want to do, we're going to work up to our next peak. So what we're going to do is we are going to skip 2 stitches. So 1, 2, and we're going to work into the third one after that, and we're going to single crochet. And when you do this, it draws your stitches inward to create that little valley. So it looks like this, and sometimes you'll have a little hole down here that might be a little more prominent than mine is. It just depends on your tension. Mine is very loose today, thankfully, so that's why you don't see mine as bad. But okay, so we've just made our first stitch going back up our peak. Now we're going to do this 10 more times. So you're going to work 1 single crochet in each of the next 10 chains to make 11 single crochet. Alright, now that we have our 11 stitches, we can go ahead and create our next peak. So we do that by creating 3 single crochet into that 1 chain. Don't yarn over, guys. Alright, now we're just going to work back down our little mountain here. So we are going to make 1 single crochet in each of the next 11 chains. Seven, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Alright, now that we've made it back to the bottom of our little mountain, I'm at the end of my row, and so on the ends of your row, you'll know you did it right if you have 3 chains or 3 stitches left over like I do here. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to skip the next chain, and you're going to work into the next one with a single crochet. And then you're going to work a single crochet into that last chain of this row. And so basically, this is a classic case of what you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So we did this step in the beginning, and we're doing this step at the end, and this draws in your pattern so you don't have that V-ing out. So now we're going to move on to row 2. Row 2 is just like our foundation row pretty much. So you're going to chain 1 in order to move on, and you're going to turn your work. And what we're going to do, we're going to single crochet into the first stitch, or as I like to call it, the base of the chain 1. Just going to make that single crochet there. And in the next stitch, you are going to single crochet. Alright, and then you're going to skip that 3rd stitch and work into the 4th stitch with a single crochet. Alright. And now you can begin to work back up your little mountain here. So we're going to be making 10 more of these single crochets, 1 in each stitch, until you get your 11. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to work 3 single crochets into that very next stitch. There's 1, 2, and 3. Alright, now we're going to work back down to our valley. So we're going to work 1 single crochet in each of the next 11 stitches. Like I said, if you need to use stitch markers, I would highly recommend that you do that. I know it's easy for me to lose my count also with this pattern. So we're just going to go ahead and work those single crochet. 1, 2, 11. Alright, now that we have our 11 stitches, we are going to skip the next 2 stitches here. So 1, 2, and we're going to work into this third one. Again, this draws in our row and it creates our valley. And with each row, your valleys will get more and more distinct. So that's one of the cool features of this pattern. Alright, now we're going to work 1 single crochet in each of the next 10 stitches for a total of 11 single crochet. Alright, and now in this next stitch we are going to work 3 single crochet into that one stitch, and that again creates our little peak. Alright, now we're going to work our 11 stitches down our mountain again. Alright, so now that I have made my 11 single crochet, again we are going to skip this stitch and work into the last 2 stitches of the row with single crochets. Alright, and that is essentially how you do this pattern. You just chain 1, turn your work, and you'd start back working up your pattern with the single crochet into the first 2 stitches. You'd skip 1, and then you work up your 11, and so on and so on. And you just want to remember, when you come to your valleys, you want to skip 2 stitches to draw in that row and create your valley, and then you're going to end up working back up the sides of your next peak. And depending on the width of your pattern, that'll affect how many times you have to do that, of course. Working those 11 stitches. So the key to this pattern essentially is just counting. You remember that you have sets of 11s to repeat and skipping 2 to repeat in the valleys, and that's pretty much it. That is like the key to this pattern, is keeping your count. Make 3 stitches at the very peak of the pattern, 1 stitch, and then you're going to work back down the side of another valley. Alright, and like I said, you know you did this right if you have 3 stitches left at the end of your row. You're going to skip the next stitch and you're going to work into those last 2 stitches of your row with a single crochet. Alright, and that is how you do the chevron stitch. It's super easy, it's rhythmic to get into, and it's perfect for blankets. I know I've made several over the years with this pattern, and it's just one of those classics that's super enjoyable. I hope today's video was helpful to you guys. If so, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up, comment down below. Lets me know whether or not to keep certain types of videos. You can check me out on Instagram and pretty much anywhere on the internet. I have a lot of social media, most of which is linked down below, so if you want to check me out on those other platforms, you can. You can also head over to my blog and check out all my knitting and crochet tips, tricks, patterns, and whatnots. And until next time, guys, happy making.